Good. Good on you, man. It's all. I mean, if you're in Bondi, you got to, leverage all that.
Yes, you've got to go, really, haven't you? If you have the chance.
Exactly. All right, Samkit, we can kick it off. I guess we'll get more people to join as they come. Yeah, let's kick it off, Samkit. Hello and greetings from Sydney, Australia, from me and James. James, you can say hello.
Hello, everybody. It's good to be joining you from Bondi tonight.
You're muted, Samkit.
Hello all. Hello from India.
Hello, greetings to all.
And again, like this is Australia and India Innovation Bridge. So all the we welcome all the participants to join this webinar and all. This is INQ Innovation Global and THub presents to you this amazing hackathon today, with supported by Niti Aayog, and there are other partners like 100 Open Startup, Womenometers, Scale Institute, TiE Bangalore, NASCOM, and Australia, India Business Councils, Indo-Australian Chamber of Commerce. Thank you all the supporters for this amazing hackathon and all. So I will take all through to the timelines first, like what are the important timelines you guys have to take care of it. So like all you can see on your website, there is schedule section where you can see the timelines as well. So very first, like this is the second intro webinar we are doing, and after this there is a registrations and idea submission closes. So this registration and idea submission closes on IST 1 p.m. Remember, on 16th August 1 p.m. this registration and idea submission is closed. So there are two basic different things. One is the registrations. You have to register your onto the hackathon, and then again you have to submit your idea. Along with that idea, there is a team member site. You have to create your team from minimum 1 to maximum 4 team member in a team size. And then after collaboratively, you can submit your idea. This selection process is based on your idea submission. So you will be, from us, you will be communicated regarding you are selected and not. Your selection process and what are the parameters will be displayed on your dashboard, hackathon dashboard itself. Again, we are doing on 18th of August, we are doing one more webinar. We'll share how to register and what are the context of webinar. Remember, 18th August, again, we are doing webinar. And whoso are not selected on after on 17th, we will announce the results and all. So you can also take part in that webinar, and you can also see what lot of it's a very informative webinar and all. So Irfan will say and will add on to this. Then again, when we go on 21st of August, the 21st of August, the entire schedule of this hackathon is very, very, you can say, engaging. You will get a lot of mentoring opportunity. You will get a lot of networking opportunities in it. There will be a lot of social media social media campaigns will be there, so you can take part in that campaign, and there will be a lot of engagement and interactive sessions will be happening. So we will start at around 10 a.m. in the morning, where there will be opening key remarks from the few of the jury, few of the mentors, and the organizer partners will be there, and then we will start the hackathon. One more thing, you can start your product, your coding, your brainstorming part as soon as you are shortlisted for the hackathon. It's a very, very pro tip, you can say. When you are shortlisted on 17th, we will announce the shortlisting. On that day, you can start your brainstorming and how you will demonstrate your project and all. So don't wait for 21st to hackathon to start. Start your brainstorming, search on the internet, see what kind of ideas you can fit in. And then again, there will be a checkpoint at 4 p.m. on 21st of August. On that checkpoint, we will provide you a link where link there will be a 2-3 rooms where all the mentors will be there, and where you have to discuss your entire idea and how which platform you are using, how you will execute your idea and all, and brainstorming plus the idea will be there. And the second checkpoint is the video checkpoint. Remember, so you know the presentation and how you will demonstrate whatever your idea and whatever your prototype. The very basic is you have to create your video. So there will be a video demonstration at the final, as far as question and answer demonstration. So we will ask to play your 3-minute, 4-minute videos when you are on the finale on 22nd of August. You will have to submit your video on the morning itself at 22nd of August. And then we will play that video, and then question answer will be happening with, you will be there on the, whichever of the platform we will announce, you will there on the platform. We will, juries will ask the question, and on that live, you will respond to that question. So 3 minutes video and 2-3 minutes question answer round for the each team for the final presentation. And like best of luck all of you for this hackathon and all. And I would like to introduce you guys very two key speakers, and like very first is Irfan Malik is a chair startup and innovation in India, Australia India Business Council. Sorry. So Irfan Malik and James. So James from Strategy Innovation, Startups and Growth. So I like to like over to you, Irfan and James.
Thank you,
Samkit. We are the showstopper for the show today.
Okay, thank you. Namaskar. Happy Janmashtami to all of you. In India, I'm sure it's most of you are taking a day off and staying safe and maintaining social distancing and just being positive. That's most important. And as a startup founder, that's one of the core traits. Whenever chips are down, as the saying goes, when it's tough, the tough gets going. Just being positive. Hope is there, but also a positive energy that should come out of all of us being in the startup innovation ecosystem, and give that positive energy to each other mutually as well. So that's kind of something I would wish, and I'm hoping that you gain a lot out of this session. We had a great response from you all last session a week back on the 2nd of August. I gave you a bit of an overview and insight on how excited we are about this Australia-India Innovation Bridge program, how both Australia and Indian ecosystem are working quite closely and quite collaboratively to really support exchange and greater acceleration of startups between both these ecosystems. And this hackathon, ReHack #Auzind, is definitely a very important program that we have curated to help us identify, nurture, and help fast track and scale these ideas and these startups or scale-ups as well. So we are not restricting, just pure ideas or pure early stage companies. We are also open to look at mature startups as well, as long as you're aligned to solving those 5 key themes that we had, pitched for as part of this hackathon. So really excited for you all and for all of us to be part of this journey. And thank you again, Samkit, for giving you an overview of the timelines and what's expected. So again, I would follow through. We've had an overwhelming response of nearly 350 registrations across globally, but yeah, predominantly from India and Australia and that region of Middle East and Singapore as well. So we're looking forward to having some great ideas submitted. So please check the timelines and the submissions to put your ideas at as early as possible so we can have start looking at them as well. But as indicated, we'll have that close of submissions on the 16th, and then we will make the final announcement of the shortlisted ideas by COB 17th or by 18th morning. Then we will have that webinar that Samkit mentioned about on 18th. We've got an amazing speaker and specialist in entrepreneurial journey from Australia, Stephen Ratta, part of the Scale Institute, who will join on board. And that's open to all the shortlisted applicants or hack idea teams, but also open to other people and others who are putting your registration, because we want to definitely add value to you all. And that's again what InQ, THub, and Incubate in are curating. It's an ongoing program. So in that session, you will have a clear insight of human-centered design and the whole approach of design thinking into your idea or your solution, and help scale, validate, and also accelerate. So that's something which we will go through, and it's open to all the registrants. And then, of course, yeah, we've got curated an amazing program for the hack shortlisted teams over those 2 hack days, 21st, 22nd. We've got global mentors from Australia, globally, Singapore, from India, of course, and Middle East, and a few joining from the US as well. Really giving you the support to achieve a successful outcome and clear alignment with the ideas that or themes that we are looking to really get solutions for. So I'm quite excited about it, and really looking forward to having you all on board over this journey and the next couple of weeks ahead. So on that note, again, reinforcing that this is a core part of Australia-India Innovation Bridge program. We've been running a series of webinars as well. So please check out our webinar videos on our YouTube or Facebook channels. And definitely it'll give you a bit of an insight why we are curating this and why it is important for both Australia and India to collaborate as a market and for the startup innovation ecosystem. And in fact, we were lucky to have James as well in one of those sessions where we connected both the ecosystem entrepreneurs and influencers, and James being one of a key part of the Australian startup ecosystem. At multi-level, he's hands-on involved with quite a lot of startups. In fact, he's also leading a couple of startups himself in the medtech and few other deep tech space. And also, he's an investor. He's a mentor. He's an advisor, and also a power network who brings in the right kind of a wrangler approach of matching the startups with the right kind of people who will help grow the company and create that value addition. So on that note, James, welcome on board, and great to see you logged in from Bondi, and the background that you have. It's always quite exciting. I mean, it's been a while since I got to the beach, of course, so you're lucky that you can head there in these COVID situation. But yeah, having said that, share your thoughts about hash ReHack, and what are your thoughts? What are you excited about?
Sure. So I think first thing I'd say is that I think Samkit gave one of the key clues away earlier on, which is getting started early. I think the challenge themes are out there for people to see already, and there is nothing to stop you from starting to ideate immediately and to bring some sort of prototype ideas to the team pretty early on. It is worth just reflecting that panel that I joined that Irfan invited me along to for InQ. The energy from the participants from the Australian ecosystem and from the Indian ecosystem was really very strong, and I think there's a real appetite to see joint innovation go forward, and it's a very exciting time to be involved in startups in the two countries in particular, and I think that's going to be really good for the region as well. And that comment that you need some friends along the way, I think that one of the nice things about hackathons is that it is an opportunity to meet a broad range of people, to engage with a whole series of really extraordinary ideas. It's always fascinating to see what teams come up with. I should note that in my personal experience, the teams that come out of the Indian ecosystem tend to be very highly skilled, very driven, very motivated, and create some extraordinary solutions. And that has been a common theme on a couple of the hackathons I've been on in the last few months in particular. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what the teams come up with. Should be great.
Great. Thanks, James. Now, the way we have curated this program over the 2 days, obviously, quite a few of them are like early idea stage, I believe, and some of them are, startups who are already, they've got their MVP or their early stage products or solutions, and some of them are already very advanced and post revenue as well. So we've got a good spread that we are already seeing in terms of registration, and we've got the 5 themes as well. So obviously, we are looking to have a good spread of all these startups at various stages, and that's something which we've curated part of the program. What is your thoughts on the outcomes that we can expect to be achieved? If you're in early stage, idea stage, startup hack team. And also if it's a post MVP stage idea, hack team versus a later stage and a more advanced solution based hack team. What are the elements that we could be looking for, and how will you think this hack day can help them iterate and evolve?
Sure. So early stage ideas, I think, is a great opportunity to test out whether there are others who think similarly, and to validate with in a friendly and supportive environment with other people that maybe would join in as part of the project or part of the team, or even just to get advice, just to understand whether it's really something to invest time and energy into. So early stage ideas is actually a very efficient way of kind of qualifying them in or out, potentially, which is really great. The teams that are a little bit more advanced, where the product is perhaps already developed, is an invaluable opportunity to make contacts and connections. It is fascinating to see who turns up in the hackathons on the chat channels and things like that. So really the level of access that you can get to some useful people is excellent. So a very valuable opportunity potentially for some of the startup teams to make connections, explain their ideas to people, get feedback on potential opportunities to collaborate and to bring those products actually into market and to grow their company even. So that's a really valuable thing.
Thanks, James, for that. What I might do is a quick switch to our website just to recap on some of the themes as well. And then I'll just give a quick recap of what I shared last week. I can share the screen in a tick. I presume you can see my screen shared.
Yep, that's good.
Okay, so essentially we've chosen 5 themes as part of problem statements, theme areas, and obviously I did share more insights as well. So essentially all these 5 themes have come out of the current situation that globally we are seeing as part of the whole COVID-19 situation, and how various countries globally are trying to deal with it, and some of the challenges that we have experienced as well as businesses, as government, as healthcare groups, or even residents or citizens as well. And now is the time to look at when there is a global pandemic, how do we really step up and consider ourselves as global citizens and look at solutions that's going to be impactful globally, and preempting any of these kind of situations down the line, and how can we effectively deal with it. So I think the themes have been structured based on our own experience of the challenges that we've seen over the last 3 to 5 months, primarily across Australia and India, of course, but also this resonates globally. And the idea here is, if we are able to come up with some solutions across these problem statement areas or focus areas for Australia and Indian market for us to validate, even scale. And then with that, we should be able to make it even bigger and go global. So that kind of is the thinking here, that we want to really give an accelerated pathway as part of this hackathon and ongoing programs from there as well. So these 5 areas have been chosen, as I said, based on the experience. We all know healthcare services, medical supplies, and medtech equipments have been, quite short of, the requirements. There have been various challenges on how healthcare services are provided for regional areas, for nationwide, how support staff can also work. The frontline healthcare staff could do and deliver their services. The challenges there, challenges to monitor, track, all those kinds of things, and of course, supplies being a major area of concern on how we can really facilitate a very structured way. In fact, even various governments are trying their best, but in spite of that, we've seen various gaps come through, where that's challenged the healthcare system as well. So looking at those challenges, those improvements, and also medtech supplies, and where startups and innovative companies who can really maneuver and really pivot pretty quickly. And I've seen a lot of healthcare medtech companies really come up with solutions for COVID-19 during this phase. We don't want to be just talking about software solutions just for tracing and all. There's a lot of them. And if you are having something as well where you're using emerging tech or deep tech, we will be looking for those kind of ideas as well, which is looking at beyond this current COVID-19. We are looking at preempting and preventing something in the future as well, and having those kinds of healthcare services, medical supplies, medtech equipments, all kind of easily accessible, and something which we can have it available and accessible, for countries globally. So how do we solve those challenges is what we're looking for. Supply chain improvements, and as a similar to what I touched on, there were challenges in procurement and all supplier buyer challenges in terms of authentic delivery, supply purchase agreements, opportunity was part contracts, to all those kinds of things to expedite the whole supply chain process, but also remove and prevent any kind of challenges or fraudulent activities or a lack of servicing capability as well, and removing bottlenecks. What are those ideas, both software and emerging tech-based solutions we're looking for? Global payments, fast tracking payments. Again, transactions during this phase has been impacted. And how do we really streamline, smoothen, and also provide uninterrupted fast track payment solution for global business to business and business to consumer payments as well. And then obviously any regulatory tech improvements that can come in place. I mean, we've seen challenges with various line of credit to escrows. A lot of things have been challenges in terms of timelines to achieve them, but also challenges to execute and assure foolproof acceptance and delivery. We've known about global communication challenges. Of course, the likes of Zoom and others have really done well, and I'm aware of certain great companies like Vidphone and all coming out of India as well. So which is great to see that happening. And the whole education online. I mean, I just don't want to restrict to online LMS. There are other opportunities to really improve the education delivery, immersive learning, and also capabilities that's going to create more profound, impactful learning capabilities. So that's something which we are looking for. And of course, cybersecurity, we're going all digital with a lot of digital footprint, and cybersecurity without doubt is paramount importance. We are also looking at, in spite of the fact that's the way a lot of people are not cognizant of the digital footprint and the exposure that leaves, and how adoption and access to cybersecurity measures, tools, best practices, and support ecosystem around cybersecurity is important, especially when there are a lot of geopolitical challenges as well. So that's how, and this is all the more important when we face pandemics like this or global challenges like this, I suppose. So that's how this is all constructed. The aim is to get some great ideas early stage, and also mature startups as well, whom we can fast track through this hackathon process, and also help launch into Australia, and similarly from Australia into India, and essentially looking at getting some POC projects as well very soon, and also help fast track. There's some amazing reward programs apart from the cash prizes. There's also programs around fast tracking through our pre-accelerator, our Trestle program between InQ and THub as part of the Australia-India Innovation Bridge, and also looking at fast tracking through our 100 open startups as well, their global program. So there's quite a lot. Plus, as James mentioned, the mentors and the global advisor network access that you will get is going to be creating profound impact for your startup journey as well. So that's something which I definitely want to reiterate. Just check out the website for our mentors, and there'll be a lot more joining there on board, and our judging panel as well. And at any time, you could reach out to them, and we'll obviously create certain channels and hashtags as well, especially for the hackathon finalists who will be shortlisted. So please check out the website. Again, as you can see, 16th August is the timeline to submit your ideas as well. And we are looking forward to some amazing ideas coming out of this hackathon aligned to those themes. So on that note, James, just wanted to get back. What do you think about these themes? And obviously, you've been involved in COVID impact and dealing with it. So what are your thoughts on these themes and what we could be expecting?
I was thinking about how many of these, Malik, you and I have been active and working on in the last few months. So, I think a really great set of topics to go through. Certainly the COVID-19 one, the current crisis has really put distance healthcare and telehealth in particular into the front of everybody's minds. And I think it's also one of the things that we have found in our work has been that the willingness to innovate is much higher maybe than it has been historically. There's a real need at the moment. There is real gains to some of the new innovations and approaches coming through. And I think there's an appetite and a need to pick those up and make them come into reality in the market and actually get into use. So very, very, very important topic, and I think very timely as well. The other one that when I was looking through this earlier today really struck me is the education, the distance education one. With so many students unable to attend school at the moment, it really is a fantastic opportunity for entrepreneurs who are passionate about that space to bring solutions through. And I think there's been some progress, but when you watch a sci-fi movie or see how things are done in someone's vision of the future, is very different even from the solutions that are available to date. And so my sense is that there's a lot of good ground to be covered there, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the team submit.
Great, thanks, James, for that. Now, one of the other things which we talked a lot about in last session, and I want to again reiterate, what are we looking for as part of our jury shortlisting? So I did highlight three things. Definitely having these three validations: customer validation, market validation, and investor validation, and whatever element that you can cover. So obviously you want to make sure that you validated with at least some potential customers, that this idea is definitely it's got some legs, and then that it can generate revenue, and it is commercially viable and things like that. And people are going to buy the solution, whether it's government or B2B, B2B2C, or whatever it is. But definitely validating that is key. We also wanted to make sure there's a market validation. So we are not just interested in a very a localized solution. We want to have a solution which is globally implementable and scalable. Definitely Australia, India, we're looking at, but also something which then we can help fast track and grow into multiple regions as well. So that's something which is very important, that it's got a sustainable market and a growing market size that it can latch on to. And the third thing is investor validation, and this is something which can be a challenge, especially for early stage companies. But we would definitely want you to put yourself from an investor perspective, or even use your investor contact network to bounce off and see if this idea is investable, if this is something early stage investors or mid to late stage investors would really look at being part of a journey to help grow and scale as well. So that's something which definitely we would like you to have done some kind of analysis and assessment through your network or through your own network of startup ecosystem operators or influencers or investors in that network as well. So definitely these are key three elements. But again, other things around having a sustainable competitive advantage, and that your solution definitely offers something that differentiates in the market. You've done the actual design validation, all those kinds of things. Of course, we will go into that human-centered design in detail, but definitely having that design validation as well, which is critical. And definitely, we want to make sure that whatever solution that you have come up with, whatever your product or the idea that you have, it needs to be scalable. So we are not just looking for ideas with legs. We want ideas with legs where we can give the wings to help it scale as well. So definitely those elements, and it needs to be globally implementable. So those are things we are looking at. And of course, without a doubt, it needs to be feasible as well in terms of implementation that we are looking at. So these are some of the elements that we will look for. There is no right or wrong answer here. We obviously will have a spectrum that we will evaluate, and then definitely look at hack teams who are more aligned to covering all those elements that are touched on, and then definitely take them through the hack day process. So just wanted to reinforce and touch on that. We obviously need to get on to the Q&A very shortly, but definitely on that note, James, you want to talk about some of those criteria that is pretty important to get it right going into the hackathon, as well as when they are coming to put their submissions as well. What are things that really resonate? And as a judge or a mentor, what do you look for?
Sure. So actually, Malik, I was thinking just as you were speaking that one of the real pluses of a hackathon environment is that for teams, especially that are starting out, the way that they would express their hackathon pitch is often very similar to, and explain to someone is very similar to the task that they have to go through to pitch an investor, to pitch a prospective partner, or to pitch a prospective client, in fact. And so it's actually a very good way of practicing for early stage teams to get their business development and their sales approach tested and validated, and to get good at it before they go and meet customers for real. In terms of sort of things I would always dwell on with startup teams, there are three questions I think very, very helpful. One is proof of desirability to customers. That is always the first and most important thing. In startups, we live or die in our companies by whether we bring value to a customer who is willing to pay us for it. So proof of desirability to the customer is incredibly important. And if even early stage indications, surveys, feedback from interviews, all the way through to actual sales and transactions is always the very first thing we look for, because commercial risk is really where startups come unstuck. The second one is technical feasibility. It's no good knowing that there's demand in the market for a service if it can't be met and delivered in a high quality manner repeatedly over and over. And of course, in the field of startups, we're often talking tech-driven startups. So the technology has to be viable, and it has to be robust so that it can work for those customers in the real world. And then finally, financial feasibility, as Malik touches on, especially if there's going to be any kind of venture capital investment or angel investment to bring it to market. It needs to make sure that it has the ability to generate returns and to be sustainable as a business model for the medium term. So those three things: desirable to customers, technologically feasible and financially viable, that's a very healthy cascade to understand for any startup project. And I would suggest an easy and quick framework to help the teams going into the hackathon as they think through their ideas.
Great, well said, James. I think that can be as succinct that it sounds. It's great because those are the filters you want to really evaluate yourself before you do the submission. And also that, I mean, expecting some video as well. So we have asked the teams to put together videos as well as part of your pitch, introducing your team as well, which is great because I believe in a strong team that really helps build great startups. So definitely that's something which will be good to look at the co-founders and the team as well, who are part of the core of the startup. The other thing, definitely keen to see emerging tech, deep tech, really being one underlying enabler for some of these solutions as well. So definitely looking for those emerging tech, deep tech based solutions as well. Solving some of these challenges. So that's something which we want to leave with. And as I said, there's no right or wrong, a perfect or incorrect kind of alignment. We will look at in a broad spectrum where each of those ideas and startups fit in terms of all alignment, all those validation, all those criteria that James and I mentioned, and then shortlist them. So that's all we want to share. Really excited that you're all on board. And yeah, I'll just jump into take some of the questions and see how we can help you. And I'll probably stop sharing the screen and take on the questions. All right, the questions, here we go. Video will be related to what? So I just assume that you're asking what should the video say. Obviously, it's a video pitch which introduces your idea, gives an overview of what you're trying to achieve, introduces your team, and also where you are, and highlighting key USPs, how you differentiate, and covering those criteria that we mentioned about. And of course, any overview you want to give about your solution as well. Obviously, as part of the hack days, there will be a video that you'll be expected to do for the final pitch. That's something which, you will be briefed and what elements needs to cover. Of course, focusing on design, the technology, the growth market, and the investor validation. All those things need to come out of that, the final part. But definitely, this pitch video for submission is to talk about your solution, your idea, alignment to the problem statement, introducing your team, creating that USP being showcased, that sustainable competitive advantage, how you're aligning to those criteria, what your commercial model is, how do you look to scale, and any aspects on investor validation as well. So that's what we'll be looking for, and that's on top of any other details that you submit. So video is just something which is going to augment your submission, and this you can record a video, put a link, or even submit a video as well. Samkit, do you want to add to that what I just said? Samkit, you're muted. Do you want to add to that? What kind of video?
So video regarding the complete presentation, regarding the whatever you have built till on 21st or till the time of video. So we will asking you to upload the video on a YouTube unlisted link, so that whosoever has the list can only able to see the particular video. So we are asking to upload on your YouTube channel. The maximum video length will be 3 to 4 minutes. We will give you a exact that maximum duration, and this video contain the entire demonstration of your product or whatever you are making. The entire demonstration, it's a combine of a PPT. It can be a combine of a recorded from your mobile. You can see so how interactive you can make your video. So for example, while you are presenting live, So you can't make some kind of animation, something which required in your demonstration and all. So we are giving this setup so where you can make your video, putting all the required information there. If you want to do your live demonstration, if it is on a hardware, you can even shoot that video and you can put that video on your presentation. Your entire that project will be calculated, will be evaluated on basis on your video. And then just after video, you will get 2-3 minutes where juries will ask question, where you can on live, you can answer those questions and all. So this is the entire complete.
Yeah. So we don't want to be too prescriptive. I think we've said all the possibilities here, but obviously it has to be succinct and concise as well. So if 3 to 4 minutes is maximum we are looking at, we want to make sure that you create the most impact out of that 3 to 4 minutes. Talk about your solution, talk about your team, how do you differentiate, some demo part of that included, and then again, talk about the USP, the whole competitive landscape assessment, whatever it is that you want to share to create the impact and alignment to the problem statement. So that's what we would look for, succinct and impactful. That's what we're looking for. Next question is around, can we get the whole hackathon schedule? So I think Samkit has spoken about it. It'll be again up on the website. So please stay tuned and keep yourself updated. I'm sure Samkit will also send emails to all the registered applicants about the hackathon schedule. Next question, how are you going to compare one startup at the verge of launching their product and another team at an ideation stage? So let me answer this, and I'll also probably invite James. So the question is, how would you compare one startup at the verge of launching their product? So it's probably just either, I understand, either just MVP stage or product iteration stage of a new product iteration being launched, and something on the ideation stage. So obviously, we have allowed for having startups of all the stages or hack teams of all stages included. Definitely, one of the criteria is we want to make sure they are aligned to these themes or ideas. Definitely, and we also want to make sure that those, even if it's an early stage, you should have done some kind of competitive assessment, some kind of customer validation in your network, some kind of market research and assessment of what the whole total addressable market size is, how you can scale, especially looking at India and Australia, and then of course some kind of financial commercial validation as well that you can do with your numbers and stuff. Now, even if it's a later stage companies, all these are applicable. Definitely, we have allowed for some good mix of startups at late stage, post-revenue, scale-up stage to early stage startups, as well as ideation stage startups as well. But yeah, it's all again alignment to these ideas. Some great early stage ideas, if they are compelling for those problem statement areas, and it differentiates well in the market, and there's no product out there, we will definitely consider them very positively for shortlisting. So that's all I wanted to share. James, do you want to take that? Do you have any?
Yeah, I think the way I would put it is that it's a fair question. There will be a range of participants. That's actually a really positive thing. And the stage the startups are at will be very different. The people who are involved from the mentoring and the judging are quite used to working across the full spectrum. So I think that's totally okay. And so I wouldn't worry as a participant. I think whatever stage you're at is absolutely fine. The reason I'm fairly confident on that is that in reality, what really changes it is the level of certainty around the evidence. So you can have a phenomenally impressive idea with a really impressive team at very much the concept stage, and you can have the same thing at a later stage. But what tends to differ is that later stage, there tends to be a little bit more evidence from the market. There may be a little bit more maturity of the technology. They may have working prototypes, or they may actually have products in market. But it's still the same set of questions that get asked. It's still the same set of considerations as Malik has mentioned. And it's really just a degree of how rigorous and how certain are the team around those data points. So the judges will be completely capable, I think, of judging companies and startups at quite different stages, and that's quite normal for us.
Beautiful. Thanks, James. The next question, can we use open source APIs and softwares? I love it. So definitely bring it on. Again, as I said, if early stage, if you have any of the alpha version of the product or idea, that's great. If you have got a developed product with open source APIs and softwares, yeah, definitely bring it on. Yeah, we'd love that. Yeah, we'd definitely promote and support open source APIs and softwares. That was pretty straightforward. Is it possible to introduce projects that have been part of other hacks? Yes, definitely. Yeah, we encourage and welcome that. And again, as long as they're aligned to these 5 themes, and all those criteria I mentioned will be open. And yeah, again, we are looking at these markets and scaling, so it can just complement what you've done or work with other hackathons as well. So we'll be happy to take those on board as well. How will we know that we are shortlisted? So obviously on the 17th COB or by 18th morning IST, you will be notified if you're shortlisted, and I think there will be an email notification that will be sent to you all. Yeah, definitely some kids and team will be available to take any questions on that and clarify or confirm. So you will be notified through email. But some kid, is there any other thing you want to add? Is there something else? Yeah. Another channel for shortlisted ideas?
Like we will announce on, like if you log into your dashboard, you will see one green tick if you are shortlisted and one like cross mark when you are not shortlisted. And we also, like Irfan said, we will also announce by emails, by SMS. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Next question, when we need to upload and send the videos. So obviously, even part of your submission, we are seeking that. If you have a link and that you want to share, it'd be great. And then as part of the Hack Day presentation as well, that'll be a bit more of a more developed, iterated product that we'll be looking for a tailored video at that stage. But as part of the submission as well, to complement, our preference is to have a video to complement your presentation or your idea submission, which just articulates and in a succinct manner, provides the video pitch. Yeah, you will be expected. You can upload, as Samkit mentioned, into your own YouTube channel, unpublished, and you can share the link and put it part of the submission so that we can, as part of the shortlisting and the jury panel can evaluate and then see that they're able to, get the same idea of about what you've submitted, I suppose. Samkit, you want to add to that when we need to upload and send the video?
Yeah, so this video will be at the time of final pitching. So on 22nd, you have to upload before 10 a.m. in the morning. And the same link will be there on there. There will be a project submission. One button will appear after your shortlisting. One project submission button will appear on your dashboard. So there you have to upload. You have to just simply copy paste your unlisted YouTube, like Irfan said, unlisted YouTube link onto that particular on the portal and just submit your project there before 10 a.m. 2nd of August in the morning.
Yeah. So please, check out the instructions. Now, what I also touched on is, as part of your submission, if you want to support your submission with any videos, you can do that as well. That obviously creates impact and creates that pitch, more compelling pitch. I suppose that's something we are looking forward to. Again, the next question as well, how do we post this on idea submission and also later as part of the hackathon, hack days? Is there any
One
Slack?
more thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry to interrupt. So video submission only for the shortlisted participants, not for in idea submission. I repeat, in idea submission, you have to put whatever the information questions is there on the idea submission, and only video for whosoever team is shortlisted for the hackathon. So that's the thing I have to add. Yeah.
Okay. The question is there any Slack channel or something similar active to find a team member? I think, the answer is yes. Samkit, then if you can provide details, make sure that is working and that people are able to access it.
Again, this Slack channel is for shortlisted. It will be automatically activated as soon as you are shortlisted for the hackathon. So
okay,
do your
sense.
best. Yeah, do your best and best of luck for your idea submission, everyone.
All right. We want help in creating an application to be submitted in Hackathon. Not sure what you're intending from that. If it is, you have an idea where you want to fast track that idea into some solution. Obviously, Hackathon could help, but making sure that you've got the team and a great idea aligned to those themes are important. I'm not quite sure what you are intending from that question. Creating an application to be submitted in Hackathon. Yeah, if you have an idea with an application, even if it is an alpha version of the idea or solution without the plumbing behind it, we will take that on board. But if you have an application, if you want to have a hack code done quickly to demonstrate, then we're open for that as well. Do we get certificates after we get shortlisted? Yeah, definitely we will acknowledge and we will provide those recognitions as a finalist or as a shortlisted applicant for this hack. And I'm sure Samkit, we can organize something of that nature, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. What weighs more, technical aspect of the idea or business aspect of the idea? I mean, again, there is no right or wrong answer. Definitely the business impact has to be paramount, and alignment to those core themes need to be paramount and needs to be business commercially sustainable. No point in having great technology and it's not commercially viable. So definitely the focus will be business and commercial astuteness and commercially viable and feasible solution. But having an emerging tech and a foolproof technical and engineering oriented solution to underpin that will be quite impactful and effective for this hackathon. James, what's your take on that? Always a trade-off, and it's a
it is a tricky one to answer. I mean, ideally, the best solutions would have both. Would have good understanding of their commercials and their business model, and a good understanding of how and some level of confidence in how they can actually deliver that technically. So I tend to agree. I think as entrepreneurs, as investors, we look for something that is commercially viable. The best tech does not always win, and there are lots of case studies of that. A savvy team that's got real passion for the topic and really executes really well will generally win out over a superior technology with a lackluster go-to-market approach. So I tend to lean more towards the commercial side generally when I'm looking at the at hackathon submissions, but it does depend. Sometimes you just see a technology and it is just so phenomenal that that really does carry the day. And if the technology is really that strong, then usually a business model can be put around it. But it is a little bit, it's always something to watch for. If you have a team with an amazing technology and they don't have the understanding of how to wrap a business model around that technology, that doesn't necessarily suggest the team has the capability to really execute successfully. So it's a little bit of a balancing act, and it's hard to give a definitive answer, but I think I would be leaning towards the business side personally.
Okay, great. Last couple of questions. We're almost running short of time. I'm sure if there are any other questions, you can shoot through to Samkit and team. There are a few contact WhatsApp numbers as well as emails there. you can reach out. So the last two questions, is a PPT required to be submitted along with the description of the idea? What's your take? There's obviously a description required on the online form. What's your take, Samkit, on that? What's the specifications given?
Yeah, so question number 6 is the PPT, like when you submit your project, your idea submission and all. Yeah. Question number 6 will be there for your PPT submission. Okay, yes, so PPT submission will give advantage to your, and again, we are taking PPT, so you can upload the same PPT on any drive, but remember to mark as a public.
Yeah. So if you are providing a link of your PPT, you on a shared drive, that's acceptable as well. But yeah, make sure it's accessible and mark it public. Who has got the link and access. And then yeah, you'll also have an option to upload the PPT or PDF version of that, whatever it is. Yeah, so it'll be good if you can submit. So there's definitely a a recognition for that idea being submitted, and it'll help you present your idea well. The last question before we wrap up for this evening: will the shortlisting come on a rolling basis or a finalist after the 16th? So I would say, yeah, it'll be all announced after 16th. Closure of registration process over 17th. So COB, close of business 17th or 18th morning, you will be notified. All the finalists will be in one go notified. And as Samkit mentioned, on your dashboard as well as, so please do check back on your dashboard, as well as you'll be notified through email and SMS as well. So I presume that's valid, Samkit?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, quickly I'll take. Is it compulsory to have GitHub account? I don't think so. But yeah, Samkit, that's something pure tech code based hackathon you have. But yeah, I don't think for this one we need to have a GitHub account.
Yeah. So for this idea submission, that GitHub is not required. But when you are into the next phase, on a development phase, GitHub will help you to put your entire project. And when you want to, if, for example, if mentor want to see what you have done in the code and all, so you can easily share those things. So GitHub, it will help you in your that development phase, not in idea phase, but in development phase.
Yeah. So it's optional, but again, yeah, we encourage that during the hackathon phase for you to look at that, and that's for the hack finalists that we are talking about. And can we add UI links into the PPT? Yes, I would say yes. Why don't? Yeah. And then should we make our GitHub repository public? Not at this stage. Obviously, with the hackathon, you can share and as required. Yes.
We will share a particular email ID, complete instruction for the GitHub you will get. So you after reading all those instructions, you can share to the particular email ID and all. So that's a later on stage, and the complete information will be provided after the shortlisting process.
Yeah, great. The last final question: can EdTech be part of the theme e-learning on the website? Yes, definitely. That's the intent. And any defining well-differentiated EdTech solution, again, looking at a scalable solution, yes, we will be looking forward to those kinds of solutions. So really looking forward to some great ideas being submitted. On that note, we'll close this session. It's 10 p.m. Here in Sydney, and I'm sure, James, you have had a long day and you want to hit the sack soon. But yeah, definitely enjoyed your time. Thank you. Really appreciate you taking the time late in the evening and also sharing these insights. And again, welcome you to this hackathon. I look forward to spending quality time with this great hack ideas that's going to come through during the hack week and the hack days as well. So thank you again, and look forward to having you back very soon. Thank you, James, and thanks Samkit for hosting us. And I'm sure you can reach out to Samkit and also check out this video if you want to, go through any part of it and get insights on things that we've shared. So on that note, again, thank you, namaskar, and have a great evening and good night. Thank you. Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you, Irfan and James.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.